Are you serious? Are you serious? Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, September the 23rd, 2013. The siege is continuing at the mall in Nairobi, Kenya, as radical Islamic Muslim militants continue to keep at least 10 to 15 hostages in the mall. I want to thank Nick of New York and Troy of North Carolina for this report. But Al-Shabaab and Al-Qaeda linked Islamic Muslim militants, those misguided messengers of Mecca. Well, this group has took dozens of people hostages. Among them are some foreigners after seizing the Westgate shopping mall in Kenya's capital of Nairobi. The body count is now at 69, with 175 people wounded. 10 to 15 people are still being held captive. But we have some breaking news. Two things. One, the Israelis sent troops to Kenya to help. Now, we have one report that says Israeli stormtroopers went in and helped rescue some of the hostages. But another report says, no, the Israelis just sent 6 officers there to set up a strategic plan on how to free the hostages, and was able to help the Kenyans free some of them, and are still working with the Kenyans to finish this deal. If this is the case, folks, we know for sure, eyewitness accounts, Israeli troops are on the ground in Nairobi, Kenya, helping the Kenyans to bring down the radical Islamic terrorists of Muslims. And here's another report. Peter King of New York, a congressman, is saying that some of these Muslim militant Al-Shabaab radical Islamists are Americans. They're Americans from Minnesota. They're Somali Americans who have been trained to help in this process. Now, we haven't got that confirmed yet, but Peter King, a congressman, is saying that it is very, they suspect it very highly. So what this means is Israelis are fighting Americans in Kenya. What does that mean? It means this. It's not about nations anymore. It never was. Unless a nation's completely overtaken by radical Islam. This isn't about nations. This is about kingdoms now. Fighting kingdoms. Which is exactly what you mean, Paul? Spiritual kingdoms. Christians, Jews, and Muslims. So and what you're seeing here is a hatred for all Christians. Doesn't matter if you're Catholic or Protestant. Doesn't matter if you're Jewish, Messianic, or not. Doesn't matter. Muslims, radical Islamic Muslim militants are on the attack. Borders of countries mean nothing anymore. This is a spiritual war. This is a religious war. And this is exactly what the Bible said would happen in the last days, when it talked about the rise of an antichrist and a false prophet, because the antichrist will be the leader of the New World Order, or the one world government, or as the Bible refers to it, as the beast, and will implement the mark of the beast, as well as the persecution, the confinement, and the interrogation of Christians and Jews. Besides that, there will be a false prophet. Now, this false prophet will rise, and it looks as if he's coming right out of radical Islam, and his whole purpose is to assist the Antichrist in the oppression of Christians and Jews, fighting the return of Jesus Christ. We're going to see a Psalms 83 war. It's building. We can see the nations in siege surrounding Jerusalem in Matthew 24. We know we have a Zechariah 14 battle that's going to take place where Jerusalem gets attacked and even half the city falls. It looks as if the whole city is going to go before it is rescued. So we know we have other battles down the road. Armageddon, Battle of Gog and Magog. I mean, all these things are coming. But as we get closer, we know that we can see the signs, the birthing pains that are taking place in the world with the sinkholes, the hurricanes, the typhoons, and all the other events. So we're living in the last days, and you have to ask yourself a question. Comet Ison's coming with the Comet Inky and the Comet Lovejoy. Here you have all three of these coming at once. Are you saved? Are you saved? Because if you haven't given your life to Jesus Christ, it's time to do it right now. Okay? So call upon the name. We had 16 people saved last night in our live Sunday night live broadcast. We had over 750 people logged in live, and another 200, 300, 400 people, don't even know how many, listening by radio and cell phones across the world. We know people are hungry for the truth, and it's time to come to the realization that the time you're living in is just about over. But you know what? Your life may be over way before the rest of biblical prophecy is fulfilled. So give your life to Jesus Christ today, because only today is the day of salvation. I'm Pastor Paul Big. I'll be right back. I got to tell you about the typhoons. I got to tell you about what's going on in Israel with snipers shooting Israeli soldiers. Oh, I just got a lot to tell you about. I'll be right back in Jesus' name.